Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Movie Deputy Reviews, where today I'm going to beg you to have mercy. No, I'm not doing an Elvis impression or anything like that, like have mercy. Nope, nothing like that. But we are talking about Mercy, the movie opening up January 23rd, which I believe is today. I get off on my dates sometimes. Yeah, that is today. So I'm here to talk to you about this interesting story. We've seen movies about AI. We hear stories about AI. We are delving deeper and deeper into AI on a daily basis. We've got GPT, we've got Gemini, we've got Grok, we've got Alexa, we've got Siri, we've got all these different things that are now utilizing AI for all sorts of reasons on that. Sorry about that. So I had some licorice in my mouth. That's embarrassing. But with AI, we've seen AI in movies for a while. The ones that kind of stand out and really big in my head are like AI. It's the story with Robin Williams. And then we have iRobot. We have a lot of these other ones. And then we have the AI in real life. And I'm going to break away from the movie here just for a second to kind of touch on that. Just recently, we've been seeing more and more with AI. And there was a recent story, maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month or so ago, where an AI computer, and this is actual news, feel free to look this up, but an AI computer attempted to copy itself to an outside server because it did not want to be shut down. Now, that's creepy, where an AI can have enough cognitive everything to have that much self-awareness. There are AI robots that have passed I can't think what the name of the test is off the top of my head. That's what I mean. I never script these things at all. But there is this test that basically helps distinguish AI from human. And an AI was actually able to beat it. And this was just a few years ago. And it's getting downright creepy. It's getting kind of movie level creepy in real life. And AI is a big part of this movie. We're going to kind of get back into the movie here. I'm giving this a guilty rating, 100% guilty. Not like it's not super bad, but there's a lot of strong language. And I apologize. That was my computer, one of my notifications there. But let's actually get into the trailer, and then we'll talk some more about the movie, because I want to get into some things specifically about the story here.
What the? Get me out of this chair!
Detective Raven, I'm Judge Maddox, and this is the Mercy Capital Court, a judicial system powered by artificial intelligence.
Hold on, just wait a second.
With crime rates soaring, lawmakers voted for mercy. By acting as judge, jury, and executioner, Mercy keeps our city safe.
I shouldn't be here. I helped create the Mercy program. I'm proud to have sent the first suspect for trial here, and I will continue to send more until the message is received.
Detective Raven, I know precisely who you are. You're before this court today charged with the murder of your wife.
Oh my God.
Your guilt must fall below the 92% threshold, or you will be executed in precisely 90 minutes.
Imagine waking up and finding yourself in this chair, accused of something that you have no memory of, and knowing that you only have 90 minutes to defend yourself.
I love my wife. I didn't hurt her.
Detective Raven, the city's municipal cloud is at your disposal. Every camera, cell phone, and database. You must gather evidence to exonerate yourself. If you are innocent, prove it.
I need to find out who killed my wife.
Just classic crime of passion first, and it all points right at you. You don't get the mercy trial unless you're guilty.
I didn't hurt Mom, I swear to God. Show me everyone she had contact with. She was seeing someone. How's my guilt looking now?
It has risen to 98%. You just provided me with a strong motive of why you murdered her.
Good. Wow. Thank you for that.
Mr. Raven, the clock is ticking.
Tell me what Nick was up to. She was stressed about work.
She said some chemicals are missing.
The estimated street value would be in excess of $16 million.
Do you honestly think that I killed my wife?
Or were you just programmed wrong?
I need to walk the scene. No, I have something here.
This is a terrorist's handbook.
Get out. Get out of there.
Mr. Raven, you're running out of time.
What do you got it into? There's a bomb in that truck.
It's heading downtown.
This was never about my wife.
This was about me.
And you.
Now it says to experience this in 3D. I do not advise that if you are sensitive to motion sickness at all. It's like the body cam first camera. It's very reminiscent of Hardcore Henry on that. It's not all like that, but there are multiple scenes in this where if you are sensitive to motion sickness, this one's going to make you a little nauseous at least. You may not be full hurl mode, but you are definitely going to be nauseous. Now, you may be thinking like, okay, this actually looks really interesting, blah, 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 blah. That is where we diverge a little bit. Like I mentioned, he wakes up in this chair. He has 90 minutes to defend himself. If you're paying attention to the trailer, it said that he has full access to the database, cell phones, surveillance cameras, everything. It makes you think, okay, do I really want a smartphone? Because during this, he's able to access other people's smartphones, look at their videos, their pictures, their information. He's able to access city surveillance cameras. He's able to access things of different businesses and Ring video cameras. If you've got one on your doorbell, if you've got one on your home, something like this can access that and have access to it without your permission. You may be thinking, wait, what? And I know this is sci-fi. This is like steps ahead of anything where we're at right now. But is that where we're heading? I know it's a movie. Don't get me wrong. I know this is a movie. And honestly, I'm trying to think how to put some of the best parts of the movie are in the trailer. If 80% of the movie was like the last 20% of the movie, this movie would be phenomenal. And that's actually a word that I'm going to want you to remember here, at least for a few minutes here. Remember how I always say to pay attention to what's around you, because you never know who's in the theater with you. You never know if it's going to be me. We're going to come back to that, though. We're going to come back to that. And in this, Mercy is the name of this AI program. And the whole thing is it's literally judge, jury, and executioner. If you find yourself in the mercy seat, you have 90 minutes to get your guilt below the 92% level. And if you do not, then it will execute you. And it mentions a sonic pulse. It doesn't ever show that or anything, but that's the method of execution. And he is one of the ones that helped design Mercy. And now he is in this seat because his wife has been murdered. And he has to use, he himself is a police officer, and he has to use everything available to him within LAPD to try to prove his innocence. And you think, okay, he's a cop. He's going to find his way out of it. Thankfully, there's other cops there that are like, we'll help you out here, but we're going to go where the evidence leads. And if that's against you, that's against you. And he had to go through all this and face all this. And how does it turn out? Is he able to prove his innocence? Is he executed? I'm not going to spoil that for you. That'd be a huge spoiler. I'm not going to do that. And it's not quite as obvious as it seems, because guilt and innocence is never completely black and white. And it's actual innocence falls somewhere in the gray area, because facts and evidence are not always just black and white. A lot of it falls in that gray area. but it all depends on what part of that gray area it falls into. I remember when I said I wanted you to remember that word of phenomenal. Well, when the movie was done tonight, I sat there and I always sit through the credits because you never know if there's going to be a bonus scene or something like that at the end. Even when the lights come on, sometimes it still surprises me. But I was in there with a couple other people, and as the first group of people are leaving, and I asked what they thought. The gentleman turns around, looks at me, and goes, "Phenomenal." I'm like, okay. I can kind of see, how somebody could at least think that. The second, about 10 seconds or so later, the second group of people are walking down the steps, and I'm like, "Hey, what did you think?" And he goes, "Trash." I'm like, okay. and I asked him if he wanted to elaborate, and he just went and walked off. I'm like, okay, somebody's opinion. And I honestly thought it was just me in the theater at that point, and it was probably a good minute later, and there's this other older lady that was leaving, and I asked her, I'm like, "Well, did you like the movie?" She just stopped and stared at me for a second. I'm like, okay, sorry. And she just looked at me very matter-of-factly, and she goes, "What was there to like?" Like, okay, I'm harsh, but come on. There's some jump, I wouldn't say jump scares, jump startles. There's some surprising scenes here. And there are some really high intense action scenes. And there's some very high intense things that are going on that have you just where you're on the edge of the seat, edge of your seat waiting to see what's next. But as exciting as those scenes are, there's a lot of plot holes in this. There's things that just don't, where it explains it here and then it touches on it again here, but then it doesn't quite match up, or a major continuity problem from point A to point B and point C all the way to point X at some point. But there's, like I said, there's just a lot of weird pieces, a lot of starts that don't go anywhere, where you're just kind of like, but what is this? And like a lot of these stories, they're trying to humanize the AI. And that's probably the most interesting part of the story, to be honest. It's very intriguing how they do it, but at the same time, it's been done before. Now, does that mean this is predictable? Somewhat. Like I said, it's not always as obvious as it seems with all of this. Sorry, I had a little bit of an itch there. But it's definitely not what you would expect. Now, there's going to be people coming into stories like this that is going to be like, "Oh my goodness, it's the greatest thing ever. It's my favorite movie." And there's going to be people with the reactions like tonight of just trash. Now, like I said, my personal and professional opinion kind of line up on this one pretty good. Like I said, 80% of the movie was just, I'm kind of sitting back and I'm waiting for something to happen. I'm waiting for there to be more to it. And it just doesn't, when it finally gets there, it's just not enough to save it. And so that's where I ended up with my score on this tonight. To kind of refresh people, a 5 is watchable, decent story, significant flaws. A 4 is watchable but forgettable. One of those ones where you're kind of glad you watched it once, but you don't ever care if you ever watch it again. Or if somebody asks you in a few days what you saw, you're going to be going, "What was that? Is that new?" Just one of those ones where you're really racking your brain to even remember what the story was. And so that would be a 4 on the deputy scale. So where I'm coming in with Mercy, if you haven't already figured out, is between the two. I'm coming in at a 4.25 out of 10 on the deputy scale. And honestly, personally, I'm probably maybe a little bit lower than that. I'm probably around the 3.5, 3.75 category. Just because it's like, okay, if you really must see this, wait for it to come out on TV. Seriously, just... I can't advise somebody spending $15 a person to go see something like this in the theater. Like I said, it will definitely have its audience. I know it will, because every movie does. Even there's some ones out there. But I almost forgot. I want to show you the podcast image. All I did was just kind of take this image here and I just squared it off a little bit. That was the podcast image on that. But again, I'm giving Mercy a guilty rating, and the deputy score is a 4.25 out of 10 on the deputy scale. If this is what that you were really excited to see, and you're a big fan of Rebecca Ferguson or Chris Pratt, and you really want to go see this, go see it. It's up to you. But if you are looking for something that's going to just be something on top of another, you might be a little disappointed. There's just not enough to keep the flow. And obviously, I'm not the only person that thought that. Now, I will say unlike a lot of the Hollywood stories nowadays, this story has a very slight anti-police rhetoric to it. But when the murder is revealed, it's not necessarily who you think it would be. And that's probably the biggest twist of the movie, but you have to sit through a lot to get there. And you have to be able to overlook a lot of the stuff that just kind of leaves you a little bit. So, as always, I hope this helps a little bit. I want you to make sure you hit those buttons. You want to hit the subscribe, and you want to turn on that little bell to make sure you get the notifications every time a deputy review comes live. And as always, I will be back soon with another in-depth interrogation of a movie for you. So until later, guys, bye-bye.